So after Seth and I met, that when we were kind of kids and through our teens, probably until I was 16, 17, until like my mid-late teens, we were both playing professionally, playing bluegrass and traveling around the country and we weren't in the same band, but would cross paths at festivals and stuff. And then I took a slightly divergent path about that time and decided to go to school and got my architecture degree at Virginia Tech, which was my hometown, which was kind of another family, was also kind of in the family. My dad's an architect. And really enjoyed it, and so it's a 5-year program, so I was in that for 5 years, and when I graduated I knew I wanted to come to Nashville because it felt like a place where I could kind of do a little bit of both music and architecture, and there's plenty of opportunity to work. So I did, and at that, Seth and I ended up being roommates through a kind of a roundabout way, but ended up being roommates when I moved to town. And I was working a pretty solid 40 hours and then some job for a number of years at that point, and got to kind of really missing the musical side of things. And Seth was, through a couple of those summers, was touring a lot, was gone a lot, and we kind of got to a point when we were still roommates, and we're like, we need to just like play some music for fun. We need to have some fun with this. So we started having like Friday night jams around the house, just for any musician friends that were in town, whoever's not out on the road that weekend, just come by and hang out, and we'll do whatever. Just chill, listen to music, play music, whatever. And I guess kind of through that, Lacey, we were obviously knew each other well at that point, and ended up kind of getting folded into the scene, and we pulled various folks in, but out of that, I think the three of us kind of congealed into a little musical unit and felt maybe some common ground there, and that's sort of how the whole thing started.
Seemed like at the end of the night it was sort of always the three of us left like geeking out over something, you know? So it was just sort of ended up that way. But
am I leaving out any pertinent details?
You did a really
Did
good
I do
job.
pretty well?
I think the thing that you said about like the music for fun is a really big piece of it to me. I think we've all, like we all started playing out or doing something with music pretty early, pretty young, and you know, started maybe monetizing that or like making that a job pretty young.
Yeah.
And even though like, you know, we're not that haggard and old at the moment, but I think like, you know, a few years in the music business can kind of be like dog years sometimes. And I think we were all kind of in slightly different lanes, but we all were kind of having a little bit of that feeling of burnout maybe, and just kind of missing like, hey, I moved here because I love this thing, and I miss my parents used to sit around and have music at the house, or like my sisters used to play these songs for me. And so for me, I think that was part of it, was it really reignited my love of just making music without a lot of expectations around it, without the pressure of even having to like care if it was anything other than just sort of serving us and meeting that sort of
your own fulfillment.
Yeah, totally.
I think a lot of the music that we were really into at that point, or still are, but was kind of fell a little bit outside of kind of the mainstream, like what felt readily monetizable maybe, and it was like a lot of stuff that we wanted to pursue or write or work on, that it was like there's not really an outlet for this, so what the heck, let's figure out how to do it.
Seth, you're the quietest. I'm going to pick on you.
That's fine.
Tell me where the name The Wonderful Nobodies came from.
It came from a song that we all heard one night at the weekly jam we had. I don't remember who played it, or
It was off Galveston, right?
yeah, it was a Glenn Campbell record. What's the song called?
It's
Friendship?
called
Friends.
Friends.
Yeah. And this
Yes.
is, as you were saying earlier in the night, like nothing good happens after midnight. This was definitely
This was way
midnight.
after midnight. We
And
were the
we
only
were-
three left.
Yeah. All sort of just in our fields, and this song comes on.
Who played it? Do you remember? Or was it in a playlist?
It was on a vinyl album.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
But
we were just
somebody
listening to
picked that
records.
record.
I don't remember who put it on. I feel like Lacey might have put
I
it on.
think it was me, only because I remember going through like a big phase with that record at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a great line in that song, and it talks about friends, and it's sort of a recitation of, I have friends in high places and friends in low places, and all different kinds of friends, and he's like, some of my friends are famous and all of these big successful household names, and he said, and some of my friends are those wonderful nobodies who live and die in small towns, and the world doesn't know them, but it doesn't make them any less precious in God's eyes or mine. I think that's paraphrasing, but that's close to it. And
Yeah.
we all kind of looked at each other and we were like, the wonderful nobodies, that's really great.
Because
And
were we working on the record at that point? Or
I
were
don't
you
think we had even started working at that point.
We were just
really.
like, that would be a good band name.
I think we had kicked around the idea of attempting it,
Yeah.
but I don't think we had really gone deep yet.
Yep. That's funny.
Just off 95, there lies a black hole. If you don't drive by fast, it'll swallow you whole. It used to be a mecca for granted and steel, but all the tourists done rocked on down to Saviorville. It's hard being young, it's harder being bored. She was like a butterfly locked in a drawer, dying to know how the other half feels. And it's just 20 short miles down to Saviorville, where there's something to do, someone to be, if only for the night you can run free. Well, she didn't want it all, she just wanted a taste. But the bars back home didn't stay open so late. Who knew the cost of a cup of cheap thrills was gonna be so high down in Saviorville, where there's something to do, someone to be, if only for the night you can run free.
From the outset, we were kind of, we really started as kind of a recording unit more than a live, because Seth was still traveling a bunch and you were playing a ton, and I was still working. So we played some shows, but it wasn't like we hit the road immediately. I think we kind of really first, in that same house where we were roommates, it was sort of an incubation period, and got into really the process of teaching ourselves how to record kind of from scratch and figuring it out. So it was a pretty good while. We had a few shows, like we played that Family Wash show to like 10 very precious fans who came out. And then we had hoped at that time to make that a regular show, and then like a week later that place closed down. So
we shut
We
it down.
literally-
our,
I think we
our
were one of the
dreams
last
were
shows.
shattered. But so it was a little while before we kind of got to playing too many shows, and then about that time the pandemic came along. So
Well, I love
Yeah.
the architect in you still trying to figure out how to record. Like I can see those wheels spinning, and it's like we're going to do this ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Challenge met over here.
Oh yeah.
I think I sort of felt at that time, I was like, this is a really cool scene. Seth is an unbelievable guitar player. Lacey is an unbelievable singer and has all of these songs, all of this kind of latent like songwriting potential and kind of ideas that there's not exactly an avenue for. I was like, if I could figure out how to get us in one room and record it, it might be pretty cool. So that was kind of the challenge.
Well, the butterfly flew a little too close to the sun, trying to play a game that couldn't be won. Barely hung on the 9 months until I was born on the outskirts of Saviorville. You can learn by example, you can learn by mistake. I know where I'm headed, but I'm going anyway. Guess we've all got holes that we can't fill, but you can't help but try down in Saviorville. Ooh, Saviorville. You came home, skin and bones. That winter in Chicago really did you in. When traipsing through the wild unknown, just to find she couldn't love you in the end. We're back down south. Your parents' house is up for sale and nothing's sacred anymore. And in the shadow of your doubts, you can see her standing in the kitchen door. Well, can you learn to improvise when you're sinking like a stone? You stand resolute with your face in the wind. Can you walk that road alone? Can you walk that road alone?
I think that that music in general, the music business, I think we all, to me, the legacy of this band that really has, the legacy, like, what this band means to me that has really fulfilled my personal hopes and dreams and goals is just that it comes from a really pure place. It takes me back to why I started making music in the first place. And I think when you fall in love with something and you run full speed at it for a long time, and then when you try to make it your job and you try to make it all these other things, there are a lot of different ways you can get pulled, and a lot of other things that can kind of come in and change that for you, potentially, not for everyone, but there's a lot of ways to kind of get sidetracked and a lot of ways to just get down and feel like, I don't know, comparison or you know, all these different versions and definitions of success that can come into play and kind of start to twist it. And to me, what the Wonderful Nobodies has done is it's really gave me the thing that I was always searching for through music, was just a community. I wanted friends who sat around and loved music the way that I did. And to me, I hope that it's just a legacy that if you operate out of friendship and if you operate out of pure love, that hopefully the rest of it will kind of show up as a consequence out of that, but that you don't have to run after that thing. I'm rambling, but I think...
No, you let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it just...
But you be true to yourself.
Yeah, it's a very honest pursuit, and I hope that, you know, if anybody's paying attention, that they just feel empowered to do the thing that's true to them. Yeah.
I think that's why I love the name so much, is it's not just a name, but it really is kind of a mission statement.
Yeah.
And it kind of keeps us in check to say, if the idea of the Wonderful Nobodies is to do you as well as you possibly can, it kind of holds us accountable. Like, is this honest? Is this really what we meant? Doesn't even mean it's good or not. It just means it's kind of genuine, which is a challenge in and of itself.
Yesterday is a darker page, and it's a long way on the bus, so you got time to read. Milk and honey, saving grace. Is there still time for the next guy that you wanna be? Can you learn to improvise when you're sinking like a stone? Can you stand resolute with your face in the wind? Can you walk that road alone? Can you walk that road alone? Can you stand resolute with your face in the wind? Can you walk that road alone? Can you walk that road alone?
I don't know. There's so many good places.
You're an equal opportunity chicken finger.
Yeah.
No, you're not. There's some famous.
Boy, girl.
Humble, proud.
Big city, small town.
AB.
Now, what are you doing?
I totally just was waiting for you to say boy girl loud enough, and I just got lost in it. Jeez. Dude, I was like, Totino's party needs a tie.
I feel like that's another one of those questions, like ranking your favorite frozen pizzas. Because people have really strong...
Having command R, which is like some kind of restart. So like hopefully.
See you tomorrow for the rest of my life. Sweet to hold and sweet to kiss, groovy curves and honey lips. God sure knew just what to do when he made someone like you. Everyone always looks our way, but no one even sees my face. How did you ever come to be standing here with me? I wanna see you tomorrow for the rest of my life. I wanna see